Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice Radio. So today, we've got a new Glaceon that we need to be having a little bit of a look at. Now, like a couple cards we've seen recently, this is going to be a promo over in Japan. Hopefully we'll get it in Cosmic Eclipse, because when the first Sword and Shield set comes out, it's going to be too late. So, fingers crossed Cosmic Eclipse. And starting off, there's a lot to like about it. Now, the retreat cost of 2 kind of sucks, because you don't get free retreat with U-turn board, Boohiss, etc. But the weakness to metal's brilliant, because there's just no good metal Pokemon really seeing a lot of play at the moment. And you're a water type, which means you're hitting weakness on stuff like Reshiram and Charizard, or Blacephalon, which absolutely are seeing play at the moment. Well, let's just say it's making Fire Dex a little bit better, so that's a great typing. You got the combination of Naganadel to accelerate energy to itself, and then Quagsire to move it into the active, which is going to help you to get all your energy that you need, so that's quite nice. And all of a sudden, we're looking pretty here. Now, the 110 HP is, I'll be honest with you, less than ideal. It's kind of in line with Zapdos and, I mean, come on, Zapdos, boo, etc. We would rather have, we'd rather have something a little bit different, if I'm honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. We'd rather have something a little bit better, but you can't win them all. The worst thing here is that we finally lost the Evolution Eevee, or the Energy Evolution Eevee. It has been printed many, many times in many, many forms, but it's gone away now, ladies and gentlemen. And that's an issue because time was you could just attach a water energy, evolve up and get ready to go, but now you can't, unless you're in expanded. And that's kind of annoying because like most evolutions here, there is a really nice single energy attack. Our translation, I should mention, comes from lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net. Snowcloak. 1 water energy, flip a coin. If heads, prevent all effects of attacks, including damage, done to this Pokemon during your opponent's next turn. And that is with a base of 30 damage. So you do 30 damage, and on a coin flip, you get complete immunity from all attacks next turn. And you get immunity from your opponent's attacks. So it's not you stop the defending Pokemon attacking, they can switch and then attack. It is you get immunity, so they can switch you, but they've got to switch you. If they don't switch you, you can keep rolling. And there are ways to switch you out of the active here. Now, if they're playing a fire deck, they may well be using the Ninetales from Team Up. That will help. That will help a lot. Discard 2 fire energy from hand, switch your opponent's bench with their active. Yes, that's great. But outside of that, you've got Custom Catcher, where you've got to play 2 at a time, and there's only 2 gusting for the entire game. But to be honest, I don't expect that to see much play by the time this comes around because of Great Catcher. Great Catcher, discard 2 cards from your hand, switch your opponent's active Pokemon with one of their benched EX or GX Pokemon. Well, yeah, that's pretty good. It's probably going to replace Custom Catcher, I believe it will. So just don't play any GXs. Boom, there you go. Now, you're not playing any GXs, so your opponent can't bring one of your GXs into the active, which means that you can just sit there getting immunity turn after turn. Now, it is on a coin flip, and we don't have Victini anymore. That's rotated out, so you do just have a 50% chance. You don't, unfortunately, have an opportunity to turn it into a 75% chance. We had Trick Coin a while ago as well, but that did go a little... That's not just rotated, that went a little while ago. But on a coin flip, you get complete immunity from everything. That sounds good. And look, this isn't a game-winning attack. This isn't an, I'm going to sit here using it for 20 turns in a row, my opponent's never going to attack, I'm going to win kind of thing. It is unlikely, ladies and gentlemen. But it doesn't need to be. This is an, I'm going to buy myself a bit of time attack. This is an, I'm going to sit here and roll, and you're not going to be able to stop me, and by the time I've decided to stop using this attack, or I flip a tails, or you are able to stop me, I've got something better planned. That's what I love about this attack. No, it's not going to win you the game. It's going to put a bit of damage on, and it's going to buy you a little bit of time. I wish we had the Energy Evolution Eevee. Ideally wish we did, because if we did, you'd be able to get this rolling turn 1 going second, but we don't. Get over it. But we do have a really nice second attack here that I like even more. It kind of does a little bit of everything. It does 90 to the active, and it puts them to sleep, and it does 20 damage to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That's a lot in one go, ladies and gentlemen. That's an awful lot in one go. I mean, we looked at a Cricketune yesterday, and it was a very complicated attack, but it could do 130, decent damage, or it could confuse them, or it could do 30 to each of your opponent's Pokemon. And this doesn't do quite as much damage, either to the active or to the bench if you're spreading, but this absolutely is a very good attack. 90 to the active is fine, but you're a single prize Pokemon. And then you're doing 20 to all of your opponent's Pokemon, and you're putting your opponent to sleep. That is a lot of mileage you're getting from one attack. And this is probably a good time to mention the stadium we just got, Slumber Forest. Because you see, Slumber Forest says that in order to wake up between turns, you have to flip 2 coins rather than 1, and they both have to land on heads. That is going to give you a huge advantage. I adore this, ladies and gentlemen. Because now you are just hurting your opponent here. And I said there was no way to kind of cheat to give you a better chance to hit heads on the first attack, and as much as it makes me sad, that's right. But there absolutely is a way to cheat so that your opponent is less likely to flip heads on sleep. So now, in theory, they're only waking up 1 out of 4 turns. And it's not like we got loads of switching options at the moment. We lost Guzma. We lost Ace Roller. You can't retreat when you're asleep. Yeah, there are still some decks playing Switch. Of course there are. And there are some people that started to play Tate and Liza because our switching options are a little bit worse. So that can be either a draw card, shoving a hand into your deck, draw 5, or a switch. But switching options are a lot worse than they have been. You'll find some decks out there playing Glaceon GX with Rainbow Energy, especially Mew Mew decks, and well, fine. There's always going to be some people playing stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that everyone's going to be. And now, it's not just that you're doing 90 to the active, 20 to each of your opponent's bench, which I think is pretty good. It's that there's a 75% or 3/4 chance that your opponent isn't going to be waking up. So you're now doing another 90 to the active and 20 to all of your opponent's bench. Now, in terms of damage, it's not all good, but it's not all bad. If you're against a Blacephalon, you will be rocking a one-hit KO here, and that's lovely. But against something like a Reshiram and Charizard, no. No, you're not going to be rocking a one-hit KO here. But you're still doing 180. You're rocking a very easy 2-hit KO. And then all the non-GXs like Volcanion, and even if your opponent's playing Arcanine here, which is probably the beefiest non-GX they'll be playing, you're still getting those one-hit KOs. You're still doing quite well in that regard. And you're always hitting 20 to the bench. Which means if your opponent brings up something like a Turtonator, for instance, you should be 20 damage short, you should be hitting 90 when you need to hit 110, but then of course that Turtonator's probably already got 20 damage on from a previous attack, which means they now very much are in range. That, ladies and gentlemen, is what I adore about this. This is how this ends up being such a good attack. Now, the energy is a bit awkward, but I've already mentioned Naganadel and Quagsire. So it doesn't really matter. You've got ways to get the energy. Will it be a little bit slow? There is an argument. I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen. There is an argument that this might be a tad too slow. Outside of that, I kind of love this card. It's the kind of promo that I really do think we need to get in our format sooner rather than later. Decent typing, decent weakness, nice attack to buy a bit of time in the early game, and then, of course, really nice attack to rock afterwards. And I should mention Glaceon GX here. Glaceon GX can really help you out. It's still legal in our format, and I don't think it's good. I'd rather use this Glaceon most of the time, but it's an option. I mean, Glaceon GX says that all of your opponent's EXs and GXs have no abilities. So it turns off Mewtwo and Mew's ability. It turns off Naganadel's ability, for instance. That's kind of cool. 90 to the active, 30 to one of your opponent's bench is fine. 50 damage for each damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon as a GX attack is quite nice, because especially if you're spreading around with the non-GX, you could potentially put like 5 damage counters down. Well, 6 really, because you hit them 3 times, and then you're hitting 300 damage. That's kind of cool, ladies and gentlemen. That's kind of cool. And the maths actually works out perfectly. If you hit 40 to a bench Pikachu and Zekrom, you'll then hit them for 200, putting them to 240, and they will get KO'd. I don't think the GX should be at the heart of your deck, just for the million different Pokemon out there that can get a one-hit KO. But I absolutely believe that you should be thinking about this Glaceon. I really, really like it. I'm a fan. I'm giving it 4 Aussies. I'm going there. I love the first attack for buying time. I love the second attack because it kind of does a little bit of everything. I like that it's a single prize Pokemon. I like the typing. I like the support that it's got. And I like the option of using a GX. I like lots of stuff. But I want to know what you like. So let me know in the comments section. Go nuts. Me nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.